This video is gonna be about Western Hemisphere denial. There's a lot of like denial going on in like the Western Hemisphere. There's a lot of confusion and skepticism when it comes to like nationality and like culture and race and even ethnicity and identity. Just like mainly like the ethnicity, race, and what nationality is. They intertwine their nationality with their ethnicity. And that caused a lot of denial because then they are brainwashed to thinking that they're the original inhabitants of this land. The Europeans, like who came here to colonize, they think that like the nationality is their ethnicity. Yeah, that's what causes like denial. And then they don't understand what ethnicity and race and nationality is. And the more we don't understand what race, ethnicity, and nationality is, and that they're completely different things, and culture and identity as well, we are going to live in complete denial if we don't know what ethnicity and race and culture and nationality is, and that we have to stop like putting it in a whole ball of yarn. I feel like we put it in like in a whole ball of yarn, and it's just like all this messy, like it's just like a mess. It's just to a point where it doesn't make sense. But if we like understand what ethnicity and race and nationality is, and what whose culture belongs to whose culture, then we'll be like, oh my gosh, this whole Western Hemisphere is in denial once we understand and realize. There's a certain image that like is in the Americas, and people think that a European dude is like the like face of America because it has been televised to thinking that that's what America is. It's been televised throughout the years to thinking that that's the true inhabitants of America, or that's what an American person is only. When they think that it's only one race that belongs to one ethnicity. It does, but it's native indigenous people. But since we didn't get televised to be like that's what our country is, and it's Mexico, when it is as well, Mexico is, but America and this whole all these countries on this Western Hemisphere is damn sure native indigenous people, the true inhabitants. But since it didn't get televised, like on the political scene and in movies and like magazines and all that stuff, and like just like pop culture in general, it just shows the European people with like stolen culture. And that's what creates denial. And that's where through the years, modern day Europeans, they intertwine their ethnicity to their nationality, and they kind of treat it like a Europe 2.0, where it's only for Europe. And then yeah, that's why in the political scene, they dominated the political scene, and they were in charge of the programming and the broadcasting and TV and what is to show on Americas and every other like country to represent for America, and it's a European person. The true Americans by ethnicity is native indigenous people, but since through the years it never really got like televised to be like that's what the original inhabitants are, we think that to be American is to be European, white American, or like European American. That's where denial comes in, and that's where a loss of actual ethnic heritage comes in. So yeah, that's why that's what causes denial on this Western Hemisphere. It's all the way in South America, and it's all the way in North America too. We think that the original inhabitants of that certain country is all these different types of ethnicities, and it just causes confusion and like who's the real original inhabitants of that country or that country or that country, and causes confusion and brainwashing to thinking that that's what ethnicity like originated in that country, when it really didn't. It only got broadcasted or programmed to be that's what that ethnicity is. And since native indigenous people were not really on television or program or broadcast system or like radios, or like they weren't really on like books or magazines or in history on their rightful land, we think that a certain race or ethnicity is that face of that country, instead of acknowledging what a true American is, or like a true Mexican is, or Argentine person is, or a true like Puerto Rican person, or a true like Cuban person. Like we just think that it's all these different ethnicities. And if I didn't understand history or know history enough, I would have been like, oh, I'm related to that person, knowing damn well I look different than them. So yeah, that's what causes confusion and ethnic ties, and thinking that that culture belongs to that ethnicity, or that ethnicity really originated from there when it really didn't. That's what causes like a lot of like confusion And me being a native indigenous person, like history is very important to me, especially since I'm like half native indigenous. My ancestral roots and bloodline and my ancestors originated from this whole Western hemisphere. Then I like it's important to me history and like understanding history and knowing that it's in complete denial of this Western hemisphere. We tie like a lot of like ethnicities and like nationalities, and some people are not the original inhabitants of that country on this Western hemisphere. And that's what causes confusion and denial when it comes to one's image when they were born in America if they're not the original inhabitants of that actual land or parts of that land. So yeah, that's why it causes like a lot of confusion. And it even confused me a little bit too, learning about history, because I thought I was that only certain one, but I wasn't. I was more than just that one culture or that one stereotype or that one image that the media has placed upon native indigenous people. So yeah, the true inhabitants of America are completely different than what is on television or what is broadcast or what is programmed on the television or like magazines or like the internet or the media. The face of America is completely different. There's a whole ethnicity culture that they don't really like televise. So yeah, and that goes with South America and North America. A lot of denial going on. There's like people who are tying their ethnicities and their nationalities and kind of stealing cultures, and then people really think that that's them. That's the face of that country. A whole different ballgame when it comes to ethnicity, culture, and all that stuff, and ethnicity, heritage. It's completely different than what is broadcast. Native indigenous need to decolonize from the program and media system and all that stuff. And I'm talking like to like South America or like North America, we need to decolonize from what has been broadcasted and like from the stereotypes placed upon us. That's what I mean whenever it comes to like Western Hemisphere in denial, and also the political scene. It's in major denial. The political scene, they tie their ethnicity to the nationality, which creates a culture that is based off of like white supremacy, because that's European American culture. When it comes to like the whole Western Hemisphere is in denial politically, and when it comes to ethnicity, race, and nationality, and whose culture really belongs to who, and culture appropriation. So yeah, Western Hemisphere denial.